everybody. Okay, we've got.
Hey, Robin.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Okay, I think we're recording. Okay, it's recording. A lot of people wonder what I mean by that, and so this is what I put in the post that I put out there with the Zoom link. Is that it's simply people who make stuff happen. Have you ever kind of sat back and watched people? You're like, how do they get this stuff done? Like they not only say they're going to do it, but they do it almost every time, right? There are people like that in this world. There are people like that on this team. And so when I say they make stuff happen, I don't really mean small stuff, y'all. I'm talking about you watch them, they do the small stuff and they make that stuff look super easy. Like that stuff there is like piece of cake. They make it look easy, it's not, but they are literally moving mountains. Okay. These people are moving mountains and they make moving the mountains look easy. Okay. So they'll take on a project like as it's heading like super south. It's like it's going downhill. The project's really jacked up and they'll turn that project around. They'll also take a vision and they'll turn it into a reality. They'll make a plan and they turn it into action. And so I have no doubt in my mind when we are in interaction with a lot of people over time, we observe them, that we all know people that are in this camp. Okay. You may be one yourself. Okay. You may be one yourself. So tonight, that's what I'm going to be talking about. Okay. The 7 traits of high achievers. So the first trait of high achievers is that they kind of subscribe to this philosophy of ready, fire, aim. Okay. I said that on purpose. Ready, fire, aim. They don't think ready, aim, fire. In their mind, they're all about ready, fire, aim. Okay. They are action oriented, y'all. Their approach is usually they're ready, they fire, and they aim rather than that more traditional method of ready, aim, and fire. Okay. They translate those positive intentions, y'all, into actual, like real results. Okay. That's what they do. They take those positive intentions and they translate that into actual tangible results. They really do have an attitude of action. Okay. They're restless. Honestly, they never stand still. They're always thinking. They're always taking action. They're always on the move. They're always testing and applying ideas. They're always trying to figure out what works and then they replicate it, right? They're always figuring out, okay, if that doesn't work, then what do? They change their approach until it delivers a positive outcome. Okay. High achievers are always like reevaluating and then they're trying something new. Okay. So I'm sure we've all met people like this, right? You know, a lot of people, probably more people like this, where they talk a good game, okay? They talk the talk, but then nothing ever happens, okay? And I'm not going to ask anybody to raise their hand and be like, do you feel like you're one of those people? I'm not going to put anybody on Front Street today, but you probably know if you identify, are you a talk the talk person or are you a walk the walk person? High achievers, they walk the talk, okay? What they say is really what happens. Okay. What they say is really what happens. Okay. That means that they don't always get it right either. Y'all, they don't always get it right. So I don't want you to think high achievers is like, they're perfectionists. Like they get it right every time. They don't. They really don't get it right every time. Anytime you have a philosophy of ready, fire, aim, you can't get it right every time, right? There's no way you could get it right if you just like ready, boom, I'm firing and then I'm going to aim. You can obviously never get it right if that's your philosophy, but high achievers, they don't get it right every time. However, they are in the arena, so they are taking action. They are in the arena, so they are taking action. So they don't talk about stuff, they be about stuff, okay? So that's the first thing, is that they have a philosophy of ready, fire, aim. Number 2 is that they are visionaries, okay? They are visionaries. Too many people, honestly, y'all, they set off on a journey into the future without first painting a clear picture out of where they want to go in their own mind. Like they say, oh, I want to make $1,000 with Plexus. And they've never painted a real clear picture of like where they're actually going to go make what they have to do, the steps they have to take to actually make $1,000 a month with Plexus, right? They end up taking a route that looks more like a squiggly line. So if you think about a visual, like if I'm doing this, this is the line, okay? These are people that aren't visionaries because the route that they're taking gets just all over the place, okay? High achievers, though, they can transport themselves into the future in their mind, and then they create clarity on what that looks like, feels like, and acts like, and then coming back to today, they translate their vision into their reality, okay? So they are literally, it's visualization. They are dreaming and thinking in their mind, okay, this is what I want to manifest. And these are the things I have to do. Like they're strategizing, they're thinking, they're working, they're learning, they're growing. They're thinking about how are we going to translate that into actual action and then results. And so their line, instead of it being a big old squiggly line like that, their line is like a straight line with an arrow. It's like an arrow. It's like, it's a straight line. Doesn't mean that there's no bumps, but they're going in one clear direction. They're not all over the place. Okay. We'll touch on that a little bit more. Okay. So when you think about that, being clear on your vision, when you define a clear pathway for yourself, a set of railway tracks, knowing that if you do veer off course, because even visionaries do veer off course, with a clear destination point, you can quickly take corrective action and get back on route, okay? That's the problem with people that they don't have a real vision for what they're doing and they don't have a clear path, is that they're going all over the place. But a person has vision, they may veer off course, but they're not going to be doing all this. There's not going to be this big squiggly line. They're going to be going still in the same direction, even though they may have veered off course a little bit, but they're still going in the same direction. They have a clear path, okay? So I really want you to consider people who have a vision, they are thinking in one clear path, okay? I'm going to give you an example. So when I started Plexus, it'll be 7 years on Thursday. When I started Plexus, I absolutely had no clue that I would ever be a diamond. I thought, though, that if other people did it, which I did see, there were other diamonds in the company. In my mind, I was like, oh, if they can do it, I can do it. So there was like this definitive belief day one that if some other chick can do it, I can do it. If somebody else can do it, then clearly I can do it. And so it wasn't a question of whether or not it was going to happen. It was really just a question of when and where, right? So when you are that clear, when your mind is wired with that level of certainty and belief, not just in terms of mindset, but also in terms of like literally your whole being, okay? Your entire physiology, like right to your core, and you know what's going to happen, well, guess what? You're going to win. You don't have any choice but to win because you're so solid on and certain on your beliefs and where you're headed. You're bound to win. Do y'all see what I'm saying there? So you need to ask yourself, are you really that clear on where you're headed? If you're not that clear, then guess what? You're going to be the squiggly line person. You're going to be all over the place, okay? You've got to have a clear path, because if this were easy, it'd be sleazy, y'all. It's not sleazy. It's not easy to get to diamond. Is it possible? Absolutely, it's possible. We've seen it happen over and over and over and over and over again. So we know that it's possible, but you have to have very clear vision. You have to have a serious clarity on where you're headed, okay? So that's the difference, okay? So I want you to also think about too, what the mind can conceive and believe, it also can achieve, okay? What the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So live your life as if all of your dreams have already come to pass. Like you need to live your life that. Like you've spoken it into existence. You're just like, you're like acting it out, right? And then you're really just waiting for reality to catch up. I'm going to give you a specific example. Those of you who've been around for a long time, I would say probably the longest is Angela. And Tiana, my sister Tiana. I have worked this business like a diamond probably since I was gold. I've worked this business as if I were a diamond since I was a gold ambassador, okay? And so I knew that reality would catch up to that, right? I knew that it would, but guess what? There is no secret. A lot of people are like, well, what's the secret? Like, how did she do it? I just didn't quit. I continued to act like I was a diamond, even though my rank had not caught up to my actions. That's literally what I did. And so you have to do the same exact thing, but you got to get clear on where you're headed though. If you're not clear on where you're headed, you'll be acting like a silver ambassador talking about you want to be a diamond. Okay. You got to get real clear on what that looks like. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. Okay. The next trait, it's number 3. It's a laser beam focus, like laser beam focus. Yeah, Marquita has too. She's been around for a long time. She's seen it from the beginning. A laser beam focus. So a Russian proverb goes, if you chase 2 rabbits, you end up catching neither. All right, I'm about to give y'all some tough love, so get ready. We got 106 people on here. I need y'all to hold on to your seats, okay? I see a lot of this in my sphere of influence. I don't mean just in Plexus, in this group. I see a lot of this all over the place, okay? If you chase 2 rabbits, you end up catching neither. What do y'all think I mean by that? Okay, Laura's like, give it to me, Robin. Are you suffering from rabbitism? Okay, and more so what I like to call it, I always tell people on my team, like, you got to pick your pony and you got to ride that joker, okay? Pick your pony and ride it. Too many of us have our hands in so many different pots, y'all. We never get good at any one thing. We're mediocre at best at a few things. It does not mean that you don't have passions to do other things. Doesn't mean that you don't. I have many other passions besides empowering people to live their best life and to reach their full potential. This is my biggest passion because I literally am addicted to helping people become their best. I really love personal growth. Like, it is totally my jam. It's just what I like to do. I like helping people get past fears. I like helping people to step out of their comfort zone. I like people having a goal, setting it, and helping them actualize the dream. I love doing that, okay? And it also pays really well. So it makes sense, right? Pays more than it would if I went and decorated somebody's house. I love interior decorating, okay? I did it for commission for a long time. Friends, churches, done all the things. I love photography. Did that for money, okay? I love creating things. I love scrapbooking, okay? I love so many different things. I have so many different hobbies, so many different passions. I love racial reconciliation. I do that now. I now have the ability to do that. I didn't have the ability to have and facilitate a racial reconciliation group 5 years ago when I was trying to build my foundation in my business. I've had that though since I've been a Jewel, right? So then I started to open up things back into my life after I decided that this pony, I rode this pony long enough and I have enough going on that this is where residual income is. And so I'm okay. But so many of you are, you're making t-shirts here, you're baking cupcakes here, you're styling people here, you're writing books here, you're doing spoken word there, you're going to do comedy shows here, you're all these things. And that doesn't mean that any of those things aren't important. They're very much so important. But if you want to build something that's going to last, you've got to pick a pony and ride it. Even worse, there are some people that they have multiple businesses, multiple network marketing. That's the worst thing you can do. You cannot have multiple network marketing businesses and be good at both. You just can't. It literally, I've never seen it happen. I've never seen someone say, I'm going to sell jewelry over here, and then I'm going to do Plexus, and I'm going to be diamond in both. It ain't going to happen, boo. It's not going to happen. It's not, you cannot do both. And so there's a lot of rabbitisms that go on. It does not mean at all that you should not think that it is important for you to have multiple streams of income, because having multiple streams of income is actually very wise. Okay, it's wise to have multiple streams of income. But where I see a lot of times people flounder is that they have multiple streams, but they act like they want to make, like, I want to make gangster money here and I want to do this here, but they're never able to get there because they just have their hands in too many pots. And so what I say is decide, maybe Plexus isn't for you, and that's okay. Maybe you decide, I'm more passionate about this. I know the money isn't really there, but I'd rather do this because that's more where my passion lies. Then do that. That's okay, right? And then, but be okay with where you are. It doesn't mean you have to quit Plexus, but it means that maybe you just have to lower your expectations of where you're going to go in Plexus if you're not willing to find one pony, ride that one pony. Okay. So just be very, very clear on that. All right. So where your focus goes, your energy flows. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. So you need to be thinking about, where does your focus go? Where does your focus go? Because that's where your energy is going to flow. All right. Number 4 is discipline. Number 4 is discipline. This is a big one. Put simply, guys, discipline is just consistency of action and consistency over time. Okay. It's consistency of action and it's consistency over time. It's doing something even when you don't feel like doing it. I was talking to a corporate coach today, and they were asking me, because they asked me to become a jewel coach, a jewel trainer. And so we were talking about, what are topics that I could add value to within the jewel training, being one of the jewel trainers. And they had mentioned, how I had had sustainable success over time in the business. And they really just flat out said, like, it is number 1, your consistency that has created this type of business that you have up under you now. It's your consistency. In order to have consistency, you have to have discipline. Okay. High achievers understand this, and they really do view discipline as a commitment. They view it as commitment. They view it as dedication. They view it as excellence rather than an inconvenient burden to be endured. So you've got to shift your mindset. If you're thinking your business is an inconvenient burden that needs to be endured, you ain't gonna go nowhere. It's not, this is a gift, like we're given a gift to do this, because it's very few people. There's 112 people on this call. There's very few people that ever get introduced to a life-changing opportunity like this, where they can completely change the financial trajectory for their family for generations to come. And even if you never got to diamond, guys, just having the ability to work from your phone and make $1,000, $2,000 a month, that's life-changing for people. That is absolutely life-changing for people. That's the difference between someone not having money to send their kid to private school and someone having money to send their kid to private school. That's the difference between someone not having to have their kids take school loans out and someone having to have their kid take school loans out. I mean, like, legitimately, y'all. So you have to understand that what you've been given and what you've been presented is an absolute gift. And so instead of thinking about this as an inconvenient burden that I need to endure, I've never looked at my business like that. I've always looked at my business as, I'm dedicated to it, I'm committed to it, and I'm committed to doing it with excellence. I'm committed to doing it with excellence, okay? Sustained success is all about discipline, y'all. It's literally the bridge between your goals and accomplishments. It's the bridge between your goals and what you actually accomplish, okay? This is the difference that is really the one thing that I think is the most eye-opening when you look at people that are high achievers. That's the biggest difference, is they just have a ton of discipline. They are in the driver's seat of their life, y'all. High achievers are literally in the driver's seat of their life. They're not in the passenger seat. They're living life with deliberate, conscious intent, okay? They are not on autopilot, okay? They're never on autopilot, and they're disciplined in the pursuit of their goals. They are disciplined in the pursuit of their goals. So how do you cultivate discipline? I know some of y'all are thinking like, okay, I ain't got half of that stuff she's talking about. How do I cultivate this discipline? There's a solution. There is. I never want to leave y'all hanging. There's a solution to this. First, you do it by building habits, y'all. You literally do it by building habits. I've literally done this with my own life. I've gotten better over time. It's compounded, like me lifting my leadership lid, or me, and I'm still not where I want to be. I still have a long way to go. School's never out for the pro, y'all. Like, it's just never out. And so when I tell you, I used to set a goal for, I'm going to read 12 books a year. I'm going to read 1 book a month. And that was like, once I got out of education, I actually had time to like legit read. You know, a lot of us really struggle with just the time to read. So I don't think that there's any pressure. It's not pressure on you at all. It's just, this is my thing. I love to read. So I was like, okay, I want to read 12 books a year. And so I had that goal for a while, read 1 book a month. And then now, guys, this is these are the books that I read every day. I've got 5 books at a time that I read. I carry these books from outside to inside, my patio, my pool. Like I'm constantly like, I'm literally bag lady. Okay. And that is discipline. That's discipline, y'all. So I didn't always have the discipline to read 5 books at a time, but I've created that discipline over time. So it's building habits. It's starting small. It's gathering momentum, gaining that momentum, right? Reinvesting that momentum progressively more into significant changes into your routine. So what I mean by that is this. You get to a place, let's just say you give yourself the challenge of drinking half your body weight in ounces of water. And some of y'all have people starting plexus like this, and some of y'all are actually starting plexus like this, or you're still doing plexus like this. We're like, I can't do 85 ounces of water. Like, that's just too much. And so whenever somebody tells me that, they're like, I weigh 200 pounds, Robin, I can't drink 100 ounces. I'm like, okay, all right. Let's start at 50 ounces. Can you do 3 16.9 ounce bottles a day? Okay, let's get intentional with that. And then they say, okay, I'm gonna work on that. And then right when they get there, I follow up on that. Like, did you get to 3 bottles a day? Did you sit them out on your counter? Did you not go to bed until you drank those 3 bottles of water? And they'll say, yeah, I got my 3 bottles. Whereas before they were like sipping on 1 bottle all day long. How many of y'all know people like that? They tell you like, I sip on 1 bottle all day long. It's like, no, that's not how we do here. So you gotten them to 3 bottles, okay? Then guess what? You say, okay, now you want you to add 4, and I want you to add 5, and I want you to add 6, and I want you to add 7. That is what building habits looks like. Okay. That's just the best like elementary example ever. That's how you build habits. Okay. So you take that, so you've gotten that momentum. And the thing is, you get excited. Like I like competing with myself. So I'm like, okay, I've gotten my 4 bottles in. Okay. Now I got to up it to 5. And then I'm competing with myself. And so that is how you do it. Right. So you start with something simple, but some unbreakable promise to yourself, like I'm going to start with 3 bottles of water. Okay. And then you do that one single thing every day. And that one single thing will then move you closer to your vision and to your goal. You do the same thing in your business. You may not be able to start off and say, I'm going to reach out to 30 people a day, like Raya. I may not be able to reach out to 30 people a day, but I can start out by reaching to 6. I can start out, then I go up to 10, then I go out to 15, right? So that is how you build better habits, okay? Number 5 is you have a winning mentality. Number 5 is you have a winning mentality. A winning mentality literally starts with a positive attitude, y'all. So again, we're going back to mindset. And it's the good news about this is that it's entirely achievable through determination. Like it's entirely achievable through determination, okay? So it's about having a can do, will do mentality rather than a can't do, won't do, or I'll try mentality. How many of you have a very bad habit of saying, I'll try, I'm going to try? Like take try out of your vocabulary. You don't try, you either do it or you don't do it, right? Once you take that middle gray area out, you're a lot better off, trust me. So what makes the difference? I'm going to give you some examples, okay? It's literally whether you see yourself in any given situation as the victor or the victim, okay? So most often it's not circumstances, but it's your attitude and your mindset that separates victors from victims. So victors look to the future and a sense of purpose. And then guess what? Victims, they see the future as seeing something that's done to them, right? Victims see themselves and see the things that happen to them in the future as something that's being done to them, okay? Victors, they see challenges as an opportunity to grow. Victims, they see them as a reason to stop, okay? I see this all the time. People, they think their business is going to blow and go. It's going to grow so fast and the momentum's never going to end and people are just going to come to me. I'm going to post and everybody's going to just be knocking down my door. And when that didn't happen, they're like, oh crap, well, I guess this isn't for me. I'm done. You go into witness protection. I see this every day, all day, every day. It's like, no, you just quit on yourself. You quit on yourself, period. You quit on yourself, okay? Victors are playing to win, okay? Victors are playing to win. Victims are playing not to lose. It's a lot of people on my team. that play not to lose. Okay, this is going to hurt. Victors play to win. Victims play not to lose. Okay, there are so many people that say, okay, I want this goal. I want this goal. Is someone saying me? Who's saying? I want this goal. I want this. Okay. And so it's like, no. Don't say I want to get to my next rank. You don't want to. I'm going to get to my next rank. I'm claiming it. I'm claiming it, and then I'm going to back it up with action, and I'm going to back it up with behaviors that would be conducive to me getting to that next rank, right? So many times we do just enough. We play just enough to not look like we're losing. Oh, I'll show up to the call. We got 116 people on the call. If we have 116 people on the call, we need to have 116 people where their points are going up and not going down this month. 116 people where their points are going up and not going down. That's playing to win, okay? You're playing to win when you constantly have a forward trajectory up. Okay. Playing not to lose is like, okay, I'm going to show up to the call. I may even join the accountability group, and I might do the book study. I might read some of those chapters. I'm going to read everything. I'm going to read some of them because I'm playing not to lose. And then I'm also going to sign up 1 or 2 people. I'm just going to do just enough so it looks like I'm not losing. And we don't ever say that to ourselves, y'all. This is all in our subconscious mind. But we do this because we want to be a part of the crew. We want to be in the cool kids club. Like, we don't want to look like we're losing. So we do just enough to play, not to lose, but we're not playing to win, y'all. Anytime you set a goal and you go 30, 60, 90 day stretch, a lot of us, we went hard and fast for 90, 120 days. Okay. Some people literally joined Plexus and became Emerald in 120 days. And you go hard and fast, but it's like, no, you can't just snooze after the 30, 60, 90, 120 days. Like, you got to keep going, right? Because the ultimate goal for a lot of you, I know a lot of you, not everyone on here, but I know a lot of you, you've spoken your personal goals to me, and you've told me, I want to be a diamond. You want beach money. You want residual income. Well, y'all, my 7-year anniversary with Plexus is on the 3rd. I'm just now starting to understand what beach money really is. 7 years in. I've never stopped moving forward. 7 years in. I've never stopped being committed to my business. 7 years in. And so however long it takes, but guess what? I'm really excited about what I've done and what I've chosen not to stop doing and not quitting, because I've now built something for myself. Instead of me building someone else's dream in corporate America, I built my own dream. How many of us will do this for 30 years for other people? We'll work for corporate America. We'll work in education. We'll work at the store down the street. We'll do this. We'll do that. Work for the post office. We do all this for other people for 30, 40 years and not think anything of it. And haven't built a darn thing for ourselves. I can will this business to my children. And not only can I will it to my children, as soon as my daughter turns 18, guess what? She's going to be like that little chick, the little clogger girl at 19 going Emerald, okay? Because that's how you build residual wealth. We want to talk about being sad that our parents didn't have anything to give us, and there's no inheritance and blah, 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 blah. Well, we changed that. We changed the face of that in our families, okay? So we have to be at a different place in our minds. Are you playing not to lose, or are you playing to win? Okay, that's a big one. Victors also regularly do the hard things. Okay, they regularly do the hard things. Victims, however, follow the path of least resistance. They do just enough to get by. They finagle stuff. That's what victims do. Victors always go above and beyond. They never take the path. They always take the path of least resistance, or of most resistance, excuse me. That's what victors do, okay? Now, there are 2 underlying themes that are in play here, okay? Ownership and personal resilience, okay? Think about, just remember those 2 words, ownership and personal resistance, okay? The ability to take ownership of your own life. As soon as you begin collecting a check with Plexus, it is your responsibility to know your business. It is your responsibility to know how you're getting paid. It is your responsibility to understand what you're doing in your business. It is not your sponsor's responsibility. It is nobody else's responsibility but your own. You are an independent ambassador. Are you blessed to be able to have a team of leaders that are willing to pour in, do calls, do training, do coaching? You have a corporate staff that is constantly throwing stuff at us. Like they did a call about boo-boo the other day. I was so impressed. Did y'all see that call? One of the wellness webinars? I was like, this is insane. Like they're talking to us about the healthiness of our poop. Like this is crazy, the type of training we get. Y'all, it was a wellness webinar, no joke. It was amazing. I was like, this is amazing. So they're helping us to become scientists, and they're helping us to become like literal entrepreneurs that are creating residual income and financial walls around our families for generations to come. Like it's a total win-win, right? Book clubs, all the things, exactly. Everything. They're throwing everything at us. They've given us every single flipping reason to succeed. We have no excuses. Even if you didn't even have an upline, if you literally just signed up under Plexus Worldwide, you can still succeed. Legit. Like I'm not playing. Like forget this team's so great. That's wonderful. But you could legit sign up under Plexus Worldwide and still have everything you need to succeed. Okay. So remember, okay, that your ability to take ownership, to own your own life, to create and know your purpose, to have goals, to have aspirations, and then to go make those things happen, and the ability to get back up when you get knocked down in pursuit of those goals, that right there is a winning mentality. Do you have it? Do you have a winning mentality? Okay. Number 6 is you're a lifelong learner. Okay. Got 2 more. Number 6 is you are a lifelong learner, y'all. Y'all know this is one of my favorites. Discipline is probably my biggest one. Second one is you're a lifelong learner. A lot of times I read things, and I hear this so much from people who teach on leadership, right? They always say the day you stop learning is the day you stop earning. Okay? The day you stop learning is the day you stop earning. That is why I have 5 books that I read every day. And most of them are teaching me how to lean into the Lord more, to have more faith, and to absolutely not only live a life of faith, but to actually show that in my daily walk. Because that's how you attract the real winners to your team, is to actually be a person of integrity, to actually be a person of your word, to actually do what you say you're going to do, to actually live by the fruits of the Spirit. Even when you fall short, be willing to admit that you're wrong. Like that's really how you do it. And we all fall short, and none of us are perfect. But by golly, I can guarantee you this. I will never stop learning. I will never, ever stop learning. And it's not even because I want to keep earning, right? That's the side benefit. But I'll never stop learning because I always want to grow. Who doesn't want to grow? Who doesn't want to continue to grow? If you are okay with the status quo, then this team, honestly, this isn't for you. I mean, and that's okay. That's okay. But this isn't for you if you are okay with just like, I'm cool. I'm good. I don't need to grow anymore. This just isn't for you, right? So I want you to understand that in an increasingly competitive world that we live in, y'all, there's no such thing as standing still. There just isn't. There is no such thing as standing still. All around us, people are actively moving forward, and standing still really means that you're falling behind. Standing still means that you're falling behind. It doesn't mean that you're standing still. In this day and age, standing still means you're falling behind. Okay. So high achievers have this insatiable thirst for learning. Okay. They show up every day being the best version of themselves. They spend their life being their own performance coach. They take steps to improve their performance, right? They ensure that they reach their true and maximum potential. They keep feeding their minds. They keep growing personally and professionally. They keep growing spiritually. That's a big one. Keep growing spiritually. That is what high achievers do, okay? Number 7, the final one, is boomerang, okay? Number 7 is boomerang. High achievers are in this restless pursuit for adding value in whatever endeavor they're committed to. They're literally like on fire for adding value in whatever endeavor they are committed to. They are focused on helping others and making a positive difference. And they do that first by throwing the boomerang far and wide. Like they're throwing that boomerang, y'all. They are throwing that boomerang, knowing that success in whatever form is going to come back to them. You know, when you throw a boomerang, the whole point of it is going to come back to you. So they're throwing that boomerang out there. They are adding value. They are helping people left and right. They are literally insatiable for this need to help others, to help people achieve their full potential, and especially as it relates to network marketing. Your ability to succeed in this business is your ability to lead people to improve themselves. Okay. So the more you can help people improve themselves, the higher rate of success you'll have in this business. Okay. So they're throwing this boomerang far and wide, and they know when they throw that boomerang out, they know that success in whatever form it's gonna come, it's gonna follow them. It's gonna come right back to them, just like a boomerang would. So I want you to think about between ready, fire, aim, being a visionary, having a laser beam focus, discipline, a winning mentality, being a lifelong learner, or the boomerang effect. Which or how many of these high achiever traits are a part of who you are? How many of these traits are a part of your DNA? Take inventory of that, okay? Take inventory of that. Really think about that and see, okay? I have a few minutes left, so I'm gonna end the call with one of my favorite books. It's by Darren Hardy. It's called The Compound Effect. I literally have read this so many times because this is where it's at. It's the compound effect. This whole team is the compound effect. That's what this is, okay? So all of this is about who you have to become, okay? Everything about what I just talked about tonight with high achievers, it's who you have to become. So when most people set out to achieve new goals, you know, they ask, okay, I have my new goal. This is the beginning. That's why I love doing this first of the month. It's like, everybody's like, I have my new goal, you know, now what do I need to do to get to that goal? What do I need to do to achieve that goal? What do I need to do to reach that goal? And it's not a bad question to ask, right? It's just not the first question that needs to be asked, okay? Because the question we should be asking is, who do I need to become? Who do you need to become? Not what's my goal and how do I achieve it? Who do you need to become in the process? Okay. So you probably know some people who you've seen do all the right things, but they still don't ever reach or produce results. How many of you have seen people do that? They're like, God, they look like they're doing everything right, but they're going nowhere fast. A lot of us, I've been there, y'all. I just got to diamond. I've been there, done that, wrote the book on it, right? Right? It's like, I look like I'm doing all the right things, and something ain't right, okay? Something is not right here, okay? So, you know, when you think about people like that, I always think about Jim Rohn. If you don't know Jim Rohn, he was like this awesome, you know, network marketing professional, and there's tons of like probably YouTube recordings of him, old recordings, because he's passed a long time ago. But he said, success is not something you pursue, okay? If you want to have more, you have to become more. Y'all need to write that down. If you want more, you have to become more. You have to become more. You don't have a choice, okay? So success is not something that you pursue, y'all. It is really what you pursue will elude you. And what I mean by that, it's kind of like chasing butterflies. Like you'll just be like a cat chasing its tail. You'll be going. You'll be forever chasing a butterfly because the butterfly's so fast, it flutters away super fast. Success will elude you, okay? But what you have to focus on, success is something that you attract by the person you become. You attract success to you by the person you become in the process. So you have to get really, really focused, laser focused on who you're becoming in the process. When you fall in love with the process of who you're becoming, that's why I never quit, y'all. That's why it didn't matter to me that it took me 7 years to get to Diamond. It didn't matter to me because I fell in love with the process of who I was becoming. And I don't mean like in like a self-indulgent way. It was just like who God was, like he was shaping me to become. Like I fell in love with that process. Like, okay, I'm now actually definitively starting to exhibit more fruits of the Spirit. Like if I'm doing that daily, I'm winning, right? I'm exhibiting more fruits of the Spirit, I'm winning. If I'm able to add value to somebody, I'm winning. If I'm able to help somebody turn their health around, I'm winning. If I'm able to help somebody pay their bills and not be in debt anymore, I'm winning. Like it was those small things that's what I fell in love with the process. If I just fell in love with the process, like I just made a post today and I had 5 people message me about, I want to be in your group. I want to talk about this. Thank you for talking about this. Thank you for talking about growth and fixed mindset. That is who you're becoming in the process. Did I sign an ambassador today? No, I had 2 conversations with people that I planned to sign up, but I didn't sign them up today. So guess what? Did I lose today? No, I'm still winning. All the other things that I did in my day that were productive, I'm still winning. It's those small incremental steps that you're taking every day that's moving you forward. That's the type of success that you want to create, because that's when success, you're attracting people to you. That's creating the success, because it's who you're becoming in the process. And so when you start to understand that philosophy, it, honest to goodness, will revolutionize the way that you think about personal growth. It will totally revolutionize the way you think about personal growth. How many of you were kind of geeky like me, and when you were thinking about like who you want to marry, guys don't do this, but girls do. They think about who they want to marry, and not the person, but like the type of person they want to marry. And how many of you were super geeky and you wrote down like characteristics of the guy that you wanted to meet? Like you just wrote it down. You made a list, okay? Nobody else did that for me? Nobody else did that? Okay. I wrote down, yeah, I know Natalie did. You wrote those things down, right? Well, how many of you probably wrote down stuff and you were like, dang, it's gonna be hard to find this kind of dude. I don't know about this. This is a hard act. But guess what? If you were thinking about that and you never once thought about, who do I need to be in order to attract this type of person? Who do I need to become in order to attract this type of person, right? Then guess what? If you're single, okay, trust and believe, been married almost 20 years, do this, please. Become that person that you want to attract before you go and get married, okay? Attract that. You need to become the person that you want to attract, because once you work on becoming that person and achieving those qualities, then you're naturally going to attract the right people to you. Okay, you're naturally going to attract the right people to you. And so just keep in mind that your vision of what you want to succeed, of how you want to succeed in life and what you want to achieve in life, ultimately it boils down to this. Like, what stands between you and your goal is your behavior. Okay, and this is my last and final thought. Okay, what stands between you and your goal is your behavior. Okay, so what do you need to start doing to change your behaviors? What do you need to start doing to change the trajectory so that your trajectory is headed in the most beneficial direction? In other words, like, what habits and behaviors do you need to subtract from and add to your life? Some of y'all have to subtract a lot of behaviors. You sleep in late, you go to bed early, you watch too much TV, you scroll Facebook too much, you're constantly going down a black hole on YouTube. You're constantly going, and the watch, a video comes up and then another video pulls up and you literally go into the abyss. And 3 hours later, you're like, what did I do with my life? Some of you need to stop Netflixing, watching Netflix binge videos. I don't even know what to call it because I don't even watch Netflix. You've got to stop wasting your time doing those things. Does it mean that you never do those things? No, there's times that you have to decompress and you have to say, okay, I'm going to take a step back and I'm just going to decompress and veg out. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you have a specific goal in mind, you have to force yourself to do the hard things. And so your life really does come down to this formula, and this is it. Think of a visual like this plus this plus this equals this. Okay, this is the last thing. The first thing is, it's you. Okay, so write you, then write, there's an arrow. Okay, there's an arrow pointing this way after you write the word you. And then it's your choices. So here I am. It's the choices that I'm making. Choices, decisions, you can use whichever word you like. Choice/decision, whichever you choose, or write both. Your choices and your decisions, you add to that. What does that do? It informs your behaviors. Your choices and your decisions, okay? That is what then makes you act, behave in a certain way. So now you've got these behaviors plus, so you've got choices and decisions plus behaviors or actions, plus you have your habits, okay? This is a repeated action. So sometimes you have a behavior, but then sometimes once you do that behavior over and over again, now it becomes what? It becomes a habit, right? So now you've got these habits plus If you do something over and over and over again, a repeated action, which is a habit, you add that, what's that going to equal? A compounding effect. Compound means time. So you do that thing, you have that habit, you do it over and over and over and over and over again over time. That's what the corporate coach was telling me today. That it's what you've done over time that's compounded, that's created what you have right now. It's what I've done over time. It compounded, it added up. That equals your goals. Okay? So it's your choices plus your behaviors plus your habits plus compounded equals your goals. Where people normally stop is their choice. I know that sounds like they don't even believe that, but it's their choice. They choose not to work the business. They decide to quit after one person tells them no. They choose not to embark upon the personal growth work. They choose to not be coachable. They choose to not listen to their upline. They choose to not be in an accountability group. They choose not to do the IPAs. That's where most people say they don't even get to the other parts of the formula. They stop at just choices and decisions. So what I'm going to challenge you guys today, for those of you that are really serious about building something that's sustainable over time, I really want you to focus on what are your choices and decisions that you're making that's either impacting you in a negative or positive way. If you know that you're making the right decisions and choices, then go to the next step. Then what are the behaviors and actions that you're taking? Are they bearing fruit? Okay. Or maybe you are making the right behaviors and actions, and maybe they just haven't become a habit, right? You're not doing it repeatedly enough. And if you aren't doing it repeatedly enough, begin doing it repeatedly. And even if you're doing it repeatedly, maybe, just maybe, you haven't done it long enough over time, compounded, in order to reach your goal. I had to do all those things: my choices and behaviors, my choices and decisions, my behaviors and my actions, my habits, which is something I did repeatedly over time, that helped me to get to where I am. If it can happen for me, it can happen for you. So I hope this was beneficial for you guys. I hope that you can apply this to every aspect of your life, not just your Plexus business. This literally will change the game for you if you just get real intentional about the things that you want to look differently in your life. 2020 is not over. We got a ton of months left to make some changes and make positive changes in your life and go into 2021 with like guns a-blazing, hopefully out of flipping quarantine. Okay. So love you guys. Thank you so much for hopping on this call tonight. Y'all have a good one. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Robin. Thank you. Love you too.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, Robin.